Hey YouTube, it's the end of the week, and I have a good weekend ahead of me. One of the things I've kickstarted quite a while ago, a CobbleBot printer, actually CobbleBot Little Monster 3D printer, that kit finally arrived. So it was advertising in and around the $200 to $300 US mark, depending on the accessories, etc. All in all, after shipping, customs, etc., probably running me about 400, but it's still pretty cheap for a printer, considering it's also 400 Canadian, and the exchange rate is kind of garbage right now. But I literally just got back from the post office, and I want to start digging into this, so I'll show you guys what's in the box. So it looks like this is the print bed. I just want to see where the looks like it's anodized plate aluminum, so nothing too fancy, but nothing too garbage. Alright, what's in this box? We got some belts, some Teflon tubing, what looks like GT2 style idler pulleys, and this little, this is a, well, they call it a resilient coupling, but it's probably, let's see if I can get the camera focus in on this. They call it a resilient coupling. It's probably more like one of those bendy couplings. I'll dig into that later. One of those Allegro motor drivers. What actually looks like a LCD. It's hard to see inside the bag. A good old knockoff Arduino Mega. Mechanical end stop switch. Another Allegro driver. More Allegro motor drivers. Another mechanical end stop. What looks like a ramps board. And one more. So we got the ramps board and the Arduino, the LCD, and 3 end stops, and only, four Allegro motor driver chips. I'm going to put this bag back in here with the electronics. Alright, what do we got here? Stay. Black NEMA mount. These feel like anodized aluminum parts. The bag has a pretty good weight to it. I'll dig into that later. Alright, looks like we got some hardware. A bunch of bearings. More hardware, different type of nuts and socket head cap screws, other types of screws. We got our extruded aluminum corner braces. Or rather, these aren't extruded aluminum, they look like they're cast aluminum. But the fact that all the mechanical parts for this are metal, decent. Looks like the motor extruder mechanism here. We got a all metal hexagon hot end with the J-style coupling. And this is, I guess they put an insert in so it tolerates 1.75 millimeter. And I get a fairly fine nozzle. So, should be interesting to use. A couple screws, set screws, bits and bobs. Oh, there's a very nice touch. This is a silicone boot. This little sucker goes over this. That is a nice touch. So, with 3D printers, if you don't have something like this, you end up with, well, effectively a bunch of burnt, charred plastic stuck to this. And every so often it just builds up to the point where you've got to clean it off and you got to use some solvents. But if it's a silicone heat-resistant covering and you just kind of, it doesn't stick, then it makes your life a lot easier. All you have to do is clean the tip of this hot end, the actual nozzle. That is a nice touch. I was not expecting that. Looks like we've got some power wiring harness here. Um, glass bead thermocouple, a heater cartridge, and the most cutest little wrench. I don't know what that's for, though. Doesn't look like it's for anything here, but it's got to be related here somehow. Oh, well, we'll find out in the instructions. Some kind of aluminum plate. The bag says X carriage single black, so I guess this is the plate that you mount the stepper motor to, with the extruder on it. The hot end sticks in through this plate, and this is the part that goes back and forth. We've got a couple stepper motors in the back. Nice touch. They're actually the type of stepper motor with detachable leads. Kind of hard to see, but the lead comes in a separate assembly. And I guess for the purposes of this, I'm going to avoid opening this because I want to keep it all together. Looks like we got a bunch of extruded aluminum and the ball screw, lead screw. Very nice. Yeah, and that's just one of them. That's one package of extruded aluminum. And then in this package of extruded aluminum, we've got more bits and pieces. More bits and pieces, nothing hidden, so lots of extruded aluminum. Not sure what this is. This isn't Maker Beam. This is a little bit bigger. I don't know if it's a European standard. I mean, it's an American company, so I'm not quite sure. Yeah, so extruded aluminum channels come in all types and different flavors, but you know, this is one standard that's out there. It's called Open Beam or Maker Beam, and effectively the captive nut that sits in the channel is an M3 nut, a standard M3 nut. That makes it very easy to get the hardware for. It's small, lightweight, you can get it in black and silver, but it's not whatever this is. So whatever extruded aluminum they used, it's their own. A little harder to work with, but it should just be pre-cut, assemble and go. I'll dig out the instructions online. Yeah, so the only thing that they don't give you with this kit apparently is the power supply, and that's just because adding the power supply adds so much weight that shipping becomes even more prohibitive. Which, yeah, completely understandable considering I paid $100 on shipping, but, you know, hey, can't be that bad. So this guy went here, this guy went here, all these packages went here, that guy went here, hardware, other bits and bobs. I'm going to pack this all back in, and I think I'm going to take it to the Hack Lab to assemble. Because the Hack Lab just received their CobbleBot printer as well. They bought the bigger version of this, so I think in the next installment, we'll see that. As for a power supply, guess what I got kicking around? 12 volt, 20 amp, should be enough power for this. It's a notch above eBay special, I guess, but it's not the bottom barrel kind of power supply off of eBay. At least it's kind of half decent. I've bought from this particular vendor before, but I don't know. You can't load these at 100%, maybe about 80%, and they start to sag on the voltage rail. But yeah, so I've got my power supply. I've got everything I need now. It's basically just a matter of wiring, etc. I'm going to put this here at a slight risk of warpage, maybe, and then stuff my excess packing material back in. But yeah, I've certainly got my weekend cut out for me here. A lot of assembly work. So I guess what I'll also do is film a video about my other 3D printer, a Solid Doodle 3 that I've had for a couple years. I decided to buy this printer because I wanted more throughput, just by virtue of having a second printer. But I also wanted higher resolution, so I ordered the finer nozzle on this guy, so I can get those fine detail small objects with PLA, Whereas my big printer that I use to prototype parts and just bang through things quickly, I'll print stuff at 0.4 millimeter layer resolution out of ABS. To hell with the surface quality, to hell with the finish. I want to be able to produce small production runs of parts like these battery brackets, right? I want to be able to produce a lot of these relatively quickly, so I'll opt out for resolution and detail for speed, right? But to go the other way, when I want more resolution, I'm willing to give up speed, I'll use this printer. So we'll find out, and we'll see how well that goes together tomorrow. Hey YouTube, it's been a 16-hour day, but I finally made some progress with the CobbleBot Little Monster 3D printer that I got off of Kickstarter. All metal construction, and for the most part it went together okay, except for a little bit of consternation associated with the washers supplied by the manufacturer. They effectively sent along the wrong size of washers. We figured out what was wrong and we modified them to fit with lathe. You'll see a time lapse of all of the construction going on all day, but for the most part mechanicals are done. Works quite nicely now. The X, the Y, the Z. I have the extruder motor mostly built, and behind me we've got a CobbleBot Vanguard being built for the Hack Lab, so we'll see some progress along with that. I've been kind of trailblazing ahead of them and finding where most of the bugs are with the instruction manual. So electrics will come next, and we'll start getting some prints eventually. So until next time, you'll see another update video on some of the other projects as well as this 3D printer. And if you like this video, please subscribe and comment. Catch you later.